Hi, come on in.
And join in. It's the Very Merry Life. Hi, I'm Mary Hendricks, and you might know me as that relatable AF Mama over on Instagram who hopefully feels like an old friend at this point. And if not, it won't be long till it feels that way as we get raw, unfiltered, and very unapologetic in all things motherhood, marriage, sex, and more. From moments worth savoring to moments worth surviving, get ready to leave feeling seen and supported. You have a friend here now, so hey, take a seat. What's going on? Hi, Kim.
Hey, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you here. I have you have your scalding hot tea, and I have my glass of wine, which thank goodness, because it's just, one of those Sundays.
Yes.
Cabin fever, not doing anything. It's freezing where we're at, and I know it's probably warm by you.
No, it was cold today. Actually, it was windy and rainy and like 50 degrees.
Wait,
and
you're in Florida, right?
I'm in Florida now, but I'm from Massachusetts.
Oh, okay.
So for Florida, that's cold and it's like icky. I mean, that's cold. It's like icky for anywhere, rainy and windy. But I kind of liked it because we really don't get that like, ooh, snuggly, let's get cozy season. Like right now, I have Christmas decorations. It's 80 degrees and sunny every day. So like today was like a nice change of pace. Plus we were all tired. So it gives us a good excuse to stay inside. Sometimes when the sun is shining, I just feel like, why aren't we outside?
That's what my brother lives in San Diego, and he says the same exact thing. He said that's probably the one hard part about living in San Diego, where it's like heaven every single day. And he said because it's so nice, you just feel bad about having a really
guilt.
Yeah.
Because he's from where you guys are from, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. So is like when you grow up in that kind of weather in New England,
the moment if the sun
don't take the sunshine.
Nice,
you don't take it for granted. Like that is a gift. You need to go get that on your face. Get your vitamin D while you can.
When did you move down to Florida?
Last fall it was August of 2021.
Okay.
Yes, but it's still an adjustment. Like I do feel like we live in a vacation land, which is cool because like I have no desire to leave.
Yeah.
When I lived in Massachusetts, I was always planning like a trip or like, let me just look at flights to go visit my sister who lives in Florida. Yeah. But now that I'm here, I'm like, there's nowhere I want to be. Like if I were to go on vacation, I would go down to Siesta Key for the weekend, like, which is 25 minutes from our house. So it is nice, but there's other things that we're like not used to, like traffic.
Yeah.
Just like we used to have a small town and, traffic in a small town is different than traffic in a city.
Yeah. Yep.
And a lot of people come here for vacation, like I said. So we have an influx of people. There's a lot of people moving down here. So it's just a busy place.
Yeah. How about the snakes? I saw that on your
Okay, listen, I try not to think about that. There's only been a couple incidences. Which I actually killed that snake. I don't know if I posted that, but I did. I killed it.
The one on your front steps?
Oh, no.
One?
There was another one. Shoot. I was driving. Listen, it sounds malicious, like I killed a snake. I was driving up my driveway. We have a pretty long driveway. And I could see it in front of me slithering towards the house.
Ew.
And I couldn't park my car and get out with the three girls, knowing it was 5.5 feet long. It was a long snake. Yeah. So I just ran it over and it was still squiggling. And I reversed and ran it over again and again. Oh my gosh, so gross. And now I feel bad, but it had eggs inside.
Oh.
But I also don't want all those. It was a lot.
No,
of eggs.
You don't want those.
It was like 7 eggs.
What was it? Like a boa constrictor? Just go with that. Just go with one of
the eggs were shaped. I had to Google it because I was like, are those eggs? Because they were shaped like rectangles.
Oh, really?
They were like rectangles with rounded edges. But anyways, Justin, I made him like clean up the mess because it was so gross.
Yeah.
And he threw it in like a lake nearby, but he held out the snake. He's 6 feet tall and he held it out and it was like touching the ground. It was just...
I don't doubt that. The last time we were in Florida, which was a long, long time ago, and I also, by the way, need you to introduce yourself in a second. This is my podcasting. This is why it's just conversational. But the last time we were in Florida was for our honeymoon. It was like a long time. We just decided to go down in July, where no one is in Florida for July. So it was so cheap. And
hot.
Hot as hell. We went to Universal for like 2 days because I'd never been, and we were leaving and we rented a car. So we had parked in the parking lot and we were leaving. And right as we're getting to the exit, I saw this giant, it was like 7 feet. like black rope. And that's what it looked like. And I saw it moving and Kevin was like, and I stopped and we're in the car and I look at Kev and I was like, is that what I think it is? And I'm terrified of snakes. Like it's not even, I'll probably have a nightmare now that we're talking about this.
I know. We should stop. No one's going to listen to this.
Yeah, and he was like, yes, it is. And sure enough, we pulled up next to it and Kevin's like, this is so cool. And I'm like freaking out thinking this thing's going to climb into the car. But no, thank you. No.
Well, I actually I didn't feel bad after, but everyone tells me that the one that I saw, and probably that one too, is black, is like the good snake. It eats like the invasive species and like the bugs that we don't want. But I'm like, no. I've never heard of a good snake. Like, no thanks.
No, we're good. We're good on that front. Anyhow, let's have you introduce yourself.
Okay.
Because I'm sure people will already recognize you based off of the title, but go ahead. Say hello.
I'm Kim. People know me as Kim Perry, and I do pre and postnatal fitness and help moms stay fit during and after pregnancy, which I think is really cool that you have that background as well, which you really don't talk about.
No, I don't.
I mean, I feel like you've mentioned it like a few times.
I'll bring it up here and there when I like review, like when I do my own workout or if I ever have to give my 2 cents on something, like if someone asks me a question, I'll be like, okay, yeah, I know I have experience here, but I haven't touched on it in so long. I left that whole world when I was pregnant with Spencer. Yeah. And then
how old is he? He's 3?
3.
No.
Yeah.
He is. Okay.
Yeah. I was working at the time. I was like 16 weeks pregnant. And I left just because no one wanted people.
Wait, what were you doing? Beachbody?
No. I was working in personal training. I was like,
okay.
Yeah. But no one wanted me to work with, wanted me as their personal trainer because I was pregnant. So they were afraid that I was going to hurt myself. So it was very.
Did you work with a lot of old people?
Funny enough, I work with older people that were very like did not understand pregnancy. Like
right, that's the thing is the people that are afraid of you hurting yourself are usually like they don't understand how it works.
Yeah, so I was at a gym like in our town that we live in now. I was right there, and then before that, I was at a boutique. Like it was like a private personal training studio. It was like a boutique gym, and I was there for a good amount of time. And there I was able to like actually bring on clients that were pregnant and things like that. Cause it was rare. It was rare. Same thing with just pregnant women now. There's still such like, as you know, there's such misinformation out there as to how to work out when you're pregnant. And
yes, but I feel like we're turning a corner.
Yeah.
Like there's so many women. I mean, maybe because it's like my bubble that I'm in, but I see like on my explore page, if I go to like search someone's name, it's a lot of like pre and postnatal fitness stuff. And I know because that's what I post, but it's interesting to see. And it makes me happy. Like, cause that didn't exist when in 2015, 2016, when I was pregnant with my first, like I was doing tone it up workouts and like, and like the fit life, like the fit girl gym selfie sweat, like that was the community of fitness, and it is so much evolved since then.
Yeah. Well, and I think I told you, I think you were one of the first people on my personal page. I have a personal Instagram page. I remember following you.
Cool.
And I remember following one other account that I remember just being in like as a personal level, because same thing, like it just was a very rare thing. And I tried doing Instagram for pre and postnatal, but I just like had no idea what the hell I was doing. In terms of like Instagram, social media. And I was like, screw this. This is not
right. You have to do what comes naturally. And I feel like you have found your natural rhythm.
Yeah. Well, and it takes a little bit. Like that's the biggest thing is it definitely takes a little.
You have to post the cringy stuff to find like the gems.
Yeah.
That's what I tell, because I have people that are like, I want to start social media, or like I'm waiting until and I'm like, no, you just have to start. Like just post whatever just feels good or funny or something that you like, and then see how it does and try again and
see how people respond. That's the biggest thing is like just having, I think for me, the biggest thing that I did was when I was pregnant, because I could give a flying fuck. Like I didn't care what I was posting because I just had no time to nothing mattered at that point.
Care. You had no time or energy to care.
So I just posted whatever. And I think that's what just kind of boosted me because people know, like when you're trying really hard, I think people can see that. And when you're just being yourself, they're going to see that too. And not everyone's going to like it. Like I'm sure you know that. Like not everyone's going to be happy with you.
Oh yeah, no. No.
How do you deal with that? With like the negative, what's the negative stuff that you deal with Instagram or social media?
Honestly, I feel really grateful that I have such like a positive, optimistic, like happy community. Like I attract those people because that's what I put out. I don't, I mean, yeah, it's always like the 1%.
Yeah, it's like the 1%.
It's the 1%. So if I have a video that goes viral, then I get some, like a lot of people like just will disagree with what I'm saying. I don't really get any like trolls or like, I don't like you. I don't get too much. I mean, I have gotten it. It's been years I've been doing this. So I have gotten some, but it's mostly just people like, well, actually, I blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. You can have that. I'm just sharing like my perspective or what I've experienced. And I try to, without being super like disclosure before I say anything, like I try to explain like, from what I've learned, this is my experience, or this is how, transitioning from 2 to 3 kids has been, but that doesn't have to be for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, because you really don't get that much negative.
Not too much. No, I had like someone today on the reel. I did a reel recently about being a stay-at-home mom. And I said like how, and
in the car. I love that one.
And I just talk and I do a mixture, like I do a mixture, and everyone listening, like I do a mixture of things that are going to make you laugh because I'm just goofy and it makes me laugh. If it makes me laugh, then I'm going to share it. And then I do things because I'm trying to be what you would hope for in a friend. Like you're going to come over. You're not just going to like do knock jokes back and forth with a friend all day. You're going to have like serious conversation here and there. And that's what I put out. But someone commented saying like that they disagreed with it. And then and then at the end of it said, by the way, I really dislike your serious posts. Go back to your funny stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And I responded to her and I said, you know that the unfollow button is right there, right? I was like, it's just right there. And then she said, I do know that. Thank you for the condescending message. I'm like, okay.
See, I cannot have the back and forth.
She didn't unfollow me. So I'm like,
she didn't? Okay.
No. So I like waited to see. I finally blocked her because I don't even want to deal with that. But I was like,
it's so funny. But you know what I have to do, or like, I don't even remember where I learned this, but I feel like that post was triggering. That might have triggered some people. Like I kind of felt it too. I was like, oh, because you're talking about like the responsibilities, which I hate even thinking about.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, one of my children found me.
That's all right. Don't worry. It happens to me every single time.
It's Ayla. Let's see. Nope. It's my shadow, Rosie. Okay. But yeah, so, and especially when you're talking about like whose role is what in parenting, like people, it's hard to, you say hi to Mary?
Hi.
It's bedtime.
Oh.
Well, she's just going to sit here till Justin finds her. That's okay.
That's okay.
But yeah, so what I was getting at is, I'm trying to think of the word.
The role.
So basically, one of my friends she posts a lot of comedy stuff.
Yeah.
About just like, she's not a mom, but she just, her most recent post was like wiping front to back versus like, if you just pee, you don't have to do that. Something, she was talking about that. And someone messaged or wrote to her, are you kidding me? This is what we're talking about now? Like, this is embarrassing. Rosie. You're gonna have to come get her, babe. You want to meet Mary?
No.
Yeah, it's time to go downstairs.
Oh,
I have to talk to Mary. I'll come down and cuddle you when I'm done.
We'll be quick. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'll be right down. Okay?
I want Ayla.
No, Ayla's downstairs. Go ahead. Bye.
What? I want to.
It's okay. He was putting the littles to bed, so that's why she went.
Well, Kev's doing all bedtime right now, so I get it. So no worries.
Yes, but this is what I was worried about because he's really tired tonight because he was up till 2 with them.
Yeah.
But anyways, so anytime someone says something like, this is so like, this is so cringy or this is embarrassing, I think to ask that person, like, what are you embarrassed about right now? Or what is what is that like embarrassment
What's it?
feeling
Yeah.
that you're
What's it?
getting?
Yeah. What's it tapping into on you? Like,
Yes, for
that
you.
feeling of
Like
it.
at what point in your life did you feel embarrassed? And you calling her out is making you feel better about your experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's interesting. I just think of there was this one reel I made, and it was probably in 2020. Do you remember that one that went bum 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 bum?
Mhm.
And then it would go, I don't know, it was like a beat, like
Yeah.
And anyways, everyone did this thing where you're walking away and you like
Yeah.
kind of shaking your butt.
Yeah.
I don't have a butt. If you like look, it's not there. It's not there. So, and I know that, and I'm like fine with it. Like I have a mom butt. It's cool. But so I did that, and my video went viral, not super viral, but like it had a lot of views. And I
Yeah.
had all these guys commenting on it, which like
Yeah.
my audience is all women. So like when
Yeah.
a guy comes in and feels the need to comment
Yep.
on the way I look, number one, like
Yep.
that's alarming. Like telling me I'm shaped like a door. But he's not wrong. I was like, you're not wrong. Like, I am not a curvy woman.
Yeah.
I love being pregnant because I had curves.
Yeah.
And luckily, but I just feel bad for like, I hate that the internet is that way because there are women who like would hear that and it would ruin.
Well, and that's the thing
their
that like
day.
it more upsets me. Like some guy yesterday commented on that reel, the stay-at-home mom one, saying like, I forget what he even said. Like I forget even his wording, but something about like how we just are taking, it's not fair, and how moms are like, we're just staying at home watching Netflix and things like that. And
So rude.
because the way he said it, but I shared it to my stories because I don't really share that stuff. Like I don't really post like the not so nice stuff because it's like, I don't need the boost. It wasn't upsetting to me. It more was upsetting thinking that this is probably being said to his wife or something. It's just, I think when I see that it's someone like arguing different things, it's like not arguing. It's just like, they're very unhappy with the way I approached it. And I'm like, it's going to keep on continuing. Like, it's just going to keep on continuing. And it almost makes me want to shake everyone and be like, what is going on? Cause I don't want my kids to deal with this crap. Like, that's where I get more nervous. It's like, it's unsettling because I'm like, people are getting really mean. And that's where I get nervous. Cause I'm like, I don't want this for my kids, more or less. Let's see what he said. It should be an expectation if women, one, his grammar was terrible. If the woman is not working, otherwise, why should the man have to pay everything? Guess that shouldn't be an expectation either. Then you do get where I'm going with this. You can't expect a man, blah, blah, blah. Like just went on saying like how can't expect him to do backbreaking work all day and sit at home while you're watching Netflix and play on Facebook.
That like boils my blood to like think about. Oh,
well, and I responded to him and I was like, I've wasted way too much time. My husband was like, why would you have done this? Like, why did you waste the time? And I was like, cause it frustrates me. And I went a little long-winded, but I said, I love how well you listen to this video. Can you point out where I mentioned that we're watching Netflix? Also, please do me a favor and switch with us for a day. Take care of the little ones, but also be expected to keep an immaculate home and prepare all the meals. Make sure you're the same exact time. Make sure at the same exact time you get out of the house. So mentally, both you and your kids benefit. Run all of the schedules, handle all doctor's appointments, wash and fold all the baskets of laundry, and then put that all away. Potty train, play, stop your kids from fighting, let the dog outside, go grocery shopping. Be sure to check in on your friends so you don't get swallowed up and forgotten. Make sure you find time to work out and take a shower, put some makeup on, and clean yourself up because God forbid you let yourself go. And schedule a therapist appointment or find time for a hobby that reminds you of who you are outside of parenthood so you don't get accused of not being fun anymore. And then on top of all of that, please add the expected sex life in as well. Go do all of that by yourself without asking for help, simply because you're the one with the name on the paycheck for the family that I assume both of you wanted.
Oh my gosh, that's a long comment.
No,
I was all of it. Like
I was so pissed. And Kevin's like, "Why did you even waste your time?" And I was like, "Cause I need everyone else to see this because it just pisses me off." I was like, "This is why I do it."
We'll be back after a quick break. Eye-Opening Moments podcast are real-life stories of adversity, encounters, and perspectives. They are moments that can lift your spirits, give you some food for thought, or move you. For the introspective mind that likes to reflect, discover, and find solutions or meaning in a complex life, listen to Eye-Opening Moments podcasts.
Do you follow Renee? I don't know her last name. Renee.
I know who you're talking about.
You know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
She this is like her topic. That is what she
doesn't she talk about the
daily.
Yeah, she talks about the default parent a lot, right?
Default parent.
Yes.
Yeah. And like it's so hard. Like I honestly like don't like thinking about it because it just stresses me out.
Mm-hmm.
But also at the same time, when I think about like being a full-time mom or like, motherhood from the age of like 0 to 5, 6.
Yeah.
It is so intense and but it doesn't last. Like it's not going to be like this forever. So I feel like when you're in it, it's just so like consuming and like the thought of like, I'm doing everything is overwhelming. But then I remember like, wait, is in like 2 years, I'm not going to have to wipe butts anymore. And like, I'm going to like the girls can feed themselves and even get their own snacks and like they can start helping with chores and it's just like you forget that,
the
like,
little because you and I mean it's true and that's the only thing I always say is like time is like the most bittersweet like reassuring thing that we have on our side is like knowing that A, it's not going to last forever and B, it's not going to last forever. So like there's certain moments where you're like, oh God, that's like heartbreaking to me, but I'm like but at the same time, I'm so glad that that's the case because there are certain moments where I'm like, because I'm the default. I know I am. Like, and it's not because of my husband. Like,
I don't know any dads that are the default dad. I just don't.
I think
like,
it depends on circumstance of default dad, like of being the default parent.
I guess I just don't know any personally in my life.
I don't either.
Like,
no, I don't either. Like that's the thing. It's like it's hard. I just saw a video on TikTok while I was setting everything up and it was a mom saying like I think it was the audio, it was like you're the from what the fuck is that I cannot talk, Vince Vaughn, and he was like, you're leaving me in the trenches.
Yes,
whatever. I don't know, I'm trying to like think, but it was when your husband goes hunting and leaves you with the 6 kids for a weekend. And it was like, and people in the comments were like, but wait, why would he do that? I'm like, because most likely the kids, even if you were home, wouldn't want anything to do with him. He would all be on you. Like that's, I mean, just a no, but at the end of the day, like, that's the hard part is like my kids want me. And it's just,
especially when they're sick.
Yeah. Especially when they're sick.
Especially
when they're little. So
because Justin was gone hunting and he had multiple hunting trips, long trips back to back. The girls were all sick. We had doctor visits. We went to the emergency room. We were on antibiotics. It was like insane sickness. And my mom was here to help. But like at the same time, like I didn't get anything done because I had to be like literally laying down with them to get them to like rest and not cry. And so I was like, if Justin was like, I have help, but like I still can't do anything. Like,
no, because and my biggest thing too is like even just with talking about that, like sometimes for like us with Kev and I as a dynamic, like Kev is putting the kids to bed. I had to put Haley to bed, our youngest, just because there's zero way that's happening. He can't do that yet. But I like, for me, I try to get him to do as much as possible because I think what happens is being the default, it gets very easy for us to know that it's the easiest route because we know that we're not going to get fought on certain things. We know that it's just going to go a certain way with us. And what I found is because of that, I don't push Kev to do things because I know it's going to be kind of like it's like a breaking in a little bit of like.
Let me ask you this. Do you guys have like unspoken roles? Like you never say like, I'm the one that gives the kids baths or like, you're the one that does. So for example, like, in my head, this is like a thing Justin and I've never discussed, but like, I'm like the morning parent.
Yeah.
And he's the nighttime. Like if someone gets up between like 10 p.m. and 1 in the morning, like he's a night owl. So he's like the one that would stay up with them. Yeah. I'm the one that would get up at 4 or 5 with them if that was the case. And same thing, like I do every stitch of laundry, but Justin's like the dishes guy.
Okay, yeah.
Like
see,
we've never like
more
talked about this.
See, we've started splitting all of that stuff. Like there are certain things that we split now, like laundry. He knows that I loathe laundry. I hate laundry so much. You should see the laundry room status right now. Oh my God. Cause I've just been putting it off, and we're going to sit down after I'm done here and we're going to go.
Don't you just want to get rid of clothes? Like, why do we own so many clothes?
I'm trying to come up with I told Kev, I have an idea for a reel. I don't know how I would film it. And it would be like, essentially I would need to buy like a nude colored.
Oh, like you're going to be a nudist colony
but I would
now?
I'd put the sticker over where it's like pixelated, because I can do that and just be walking around, but like doing certain things like that. And like I would pretend like I was outside saying hello to my neighbor and like hear a scream.
Like trying
everything to avoid not doing laundry.
Oh my gosh.
But
I seriously have thought about that. I was like, if I get rid of like half of the clothes we own, I won't have to do laundry as much.
I mean, you could, because you live in Florida. You're nice and warm, so you could totally do that.
But like, you know how kids spill stuff like throughout the day, and like they just get so messy, and like even like towel, like
no.
And toys is another thing. I'm like, if I got rid of half of these toys,
I put everything in a big garbage bag today, because the kids were that I made a TikTok about it, because I was like, I'm done, because my son dumped every single bin out, and I was like, you don't realize that that's actually an opportunity for me, because the moment you do that, I now can see what's in front of me, because I won't do it on my own. And I'm like, garbage bag, let's go. And nothing actually needed to get thrown out, but it more needed to be like organized. And I was like, I'm not doing that. So I just shoved it back in. But then my daughter was like acting all fresh to me and talking back. And that's like 5. I don't know what is going on. She's about to be 5, but she's like very attitude central. And I was like, I'm going to throw all these out. And she's like, good, throw them out. And I'm like, I can't not with you. And I literally put them all in a trash bag and put them out in the garbage. I didn't, not in the garbage, in the garage.
Okay.
And told her I was throwing them out.
She didn't care?
No.
Oh my gosh.
She helped me put them in. And I was like, I don't know what scare tactic I need to use. And that's why they're in the garage. That way I can bring them back in. Because I know that she'll want them. But I was like, I was just trying to feel out what the hell can
what kind of threat she could. Wow. That's like my 3-year-old. Or Rosie, she's 4 now, actually.
Yeah.
She like bribery, like nothing works for her. She's just gonna do what she wants. But I actually saw a reel. I don't know if it was TikTok or reel, but this mom got rid of 90% of her kids' toys, and she talked about how beneficial it was for their behavior and cooperation. And people were like, well, and how like toys didn't really exist, or like there wasn't a market for toys until the Industrial Revolution. Like she told this whole like story about how, toys are now marketed as like learning. You need this for like learning through play. And she's like, no, you don't. No, kids can play with pots and pans. They used to play like in the kitchen, cooking with mom, making their own, they play in the yard with like sticks, and whatever you have can be a toy, which I totally agree with.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, do we have too many toys? And she also talked about how toys make kids more greedy, which I'm like, they do, because it's so hard to get them.
Well, it's kind of like even the tablet. Like I find like my kids learn a crap ton with the tablet and stuff, but I notice when they get too much of it, because then they just become little assholes. And I'm like, enough. I'm like, done, because they start like, I don't know what happens to them, but it like turns on me. But I would actually believe that, just because we don't have too many. It's like little things. It's like Peppa Pig figurines, because my daughter's really like into imagination, and like I bought her a dollhouse for Christmas, so that's what she's getting for Christmas. But
already, okay, from where?
Amazon. It was like $60, so nothing crazy, nothing fancy, but just something for her, because she's really into like
cute
all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, I would believe that. I don't know.
I thought it was interesting, and I've also been. I mean, I feel like I've done this before, but now even more so after watching that, I'm trying to be intentional with. Instead of like toys, to have things that are like less toy and more activity based. So this year I was going to get them an easel.
Oh yeah.
Like drawing, painting, because Ayla's really into that, and her sisters just do whatever she does. So I found one that's like a 3.
Yeah.
Because most easels, they're like a front and back. I found one that's a 3. It's like a triangle, so they could each have a side, which is so cute. I don't even think I mentioned that in my intro. I have 3 children. Ayla, Rosie, and Blake. They're 6, 4, and 2 years old. But yeah, so Ayla wants a guitar this year. She wants a bow and arrow. So I'm like, oh, I like
Okay.
these. It's not like she wants like the singing, dancing unicorn on roller skates that I got for Rosie's birthday last month. But like, I just feel like we have a lot of those things that they just kind of lose interest in.
No, well, my mom always said it because I was talking to my mom about that, and she was like, "You always want like a, like I know a lot of people do like one thing that they want versus then they need, and like a book and something to
Yeah,
read."
it's one thing they want, one thing they need, something to wear, something to read.
Yeah, and
That's cute.
My mom always said that, and she was like, yeah, she didn't do that, but she said you always want that immediate gratification toy.
Yes,
and then the other stuff can be good stuff that they probably won't care about, but then like the hot
they need the hot ticket, and
then the other stuff is stuff that they'll eventually come around to and be like, hey, I really like that. And so I was like, okay, well, I need to think about what that is.
The hot ticket. So what we do is the hot ticket item is from Santa usually. But I messed up last year and I thought I had the hot ticket.
Oh no.
I got them like the indoor like Montessori like jungle gym thing. It's like a ladder, rainbow shaped, like 2 different pieces and the ramp that pulls them together, or you can make it in like a slide. And I was like, it's big. They love climbing on the couch. They're gonna love this, which they do. They still play on it every day. Yeah. But it didn't wow them like I thought it would. And they were kind of like, oh, I wanted a DJ stand. Which actually they did get DJ stands the year before. And I got Rosie one and Ayla one, pink for Ayla, purple for Rosie. That was my mistake. I should have got the same stinking pink one because they fought Christmas morning over who was going to play with the pink one.
So that's going to be my life. And that's like right now I told Kev, I was like, they're making it so hard for me to want to buy them toys because my kids are fighting. Like, I don't know what is going on, but I'm like, enough. Like, dude, like, please stop. Because I'm like, Santa Claus. The nice thing about living in New Jersey is that we have deer. And so
we have deer here.
Oh, really?
There's deer in my yard every day.
What? I didn't know. Yes,
we live in like I know it's funny. Like to get to my house, we pass cows and farms and horse farms, and there's deer in our yard every morning, every night.
I didn't know that.
Or just like middle of the day, they'll just like walk through.
Okay, I didn't know that. I thought they were just.
But anyways, okay, so you call them reindeer?
Yeah, we have deer, but we had 2 deer in the backyard this morning or this afternoon. They were both playing outside, and I was like, "Come here, look!" And they're looking. Cassidy calls them reindeer. She's like, "Oh, the reindeer," and I'm like, "Yeah, they're checking on you guys. If you're naughty or nice."
Oh
and
my god!
I think nice, and I'm like, I'm like, okay, sure.
Yeah, but the not sharing, that's so hard. And I always said, because my sister had kids before me. Yeah. And I remember being like, I'm never buying 2 of the same toy. Like, that is so ridiculous. Like, what a waste. You just have to teach your kids to share.
Yeah, no, that's like one of those things that you learn once you have kids because you're like,
you definitely learn. Well, actually, I mean, like, no, I wasn't wrong. Like, I could do that. I just realized how much effort and how frequently I would have to teach them to take. It's not actually, I did learn, you're not supposed to teach them to share, you're supposed to teach them to take turns, because sharing to a 2-year-old is like if I came up to you right now and grabbed your glass of wine out of your hand and I was like, you have to share. And drank it all, and that was the last glass of wine at your house.
Well, I actually because
it really isn't fair.
Yeah, well, and I saw something about that recently about sharing, and I was like, that actually makes a lot of sense because it's like it's not a life
skill,
lesson.
Right?
Yeah, it's not a life skill.
Sharing,
that would be like if I'm driving, you're driving your car, and I come up and I'm like, okay.
Your car. It's share your car. You have to share.
You have to share. No, you don't. Like,
no,
that's not how it works.
It's like that's her car. Like I think same thing at like the playground when a kid brings a toy. It's like that's theirs. They don't have to share. They don't. No one has to share. Sharing is for like if you have a dozen cookies and you have friends nearby and you can share your cookies with them. So that's why you have to call it taking turns. And I'm so glad I learned that when Ayla was little. I was like, wow. Because I would have been saying share all the time. Now I'm like, take turns. Whose turn is it?
It's always.
But yeah, we also buy like 3 of everything. It just like makes it easier. But honestly, they still fight over the 3.
Of course they do. Well, and so you have 3, I have 3. And I know you recently put out a reel about like the 2 to 3 transition. So did you think 2 to 3 was worse than 1 to 2?
Yes.
Yeah. And what?
But also, wait, hold on. So a lot of people, I've noticed people have hard time transitioning from 0 to 1.
Yeah.
And then from 1 to 2, or like if you thought 1 to 2 was hard, a lot of people will go to that third and they're like, oh, this wasn't that bad. 1 to 2 was harder.
Yeah.
So I thought it was not easy, but I thought 1 to 2 was like pretty smooth. But then the third, like, game changer. But also the ages. Rosie was 20 months old when I had Blake.
Oh shit.
And she was rambunctious AF. Like, just not like Ayla was an angel. So she tricked me into thinking that my children were angels.
Yeah.
Then I had Rosie, who just like she would run away in the parking lot. And I would be holding Blake and trying to get Ayla buckled, and she's going in the other direction.
That's another life lesson when I used to say, like, I can't believe parents use leashes on their kids.
Oh, no.
Like,
moms with
no.
leashes are intelligent. They are smart, and they're saving time, and like they just care about
keep your kids safe, because there are kids that just sprint. And when you're a mom with more than one, then you can't. Sometimes there's not many things you can do. I fully believe in them. I have yet to use it. But it's not
it's not even a leash. It's a child safety harness, first of all. I haven't used one either, but I have considered it. And I do, yes, I agree. I know why people use them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But wait, did you have a hard time from 2 to 3?
No, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm not going to like deny that. I think this time it's just, it's not so much the, I think for me, mentally wise, it was harder. Like, just, I had more postpartum anxiety this time.
With the third.
With the third.
Me too.
More postpartum.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah. I was talking to another mom of 3 about that, and she has postpartum anxiety. And she said, I think it's because I know how much I love my other 2, where it's like one more thing just is like, for me, what it was for me was like, my other 2 are really healthy, where I was like, I've always been waiting for the other shoe to drop type of thing, where I'm like, every time I bring something new, anytime change happens for me, I'm like, this is it. Something's going to happen. And it's all going downhill. Yeah. I'm a little messed up in that way, but
no, it's okay. Cause you're trying to like prepare for the worst.
Yeah. So like, I felt like that with the third, and it's just, otherwise it's just, you know what the big difference was with 1 to 2 was it was during the pandemic. So we had Spencer right before the pandemic hit. And then we were stuck in the house. So that 1 to 2 rocked my world. And I think it was because of the world was on fire. And
okay. So that was my 2 to 3. Blake was born in 2020.
Yeah. So that might've been why, like maybe for you, maybe that added to it.
Wow. That's so true.
I know.
I just thought it was like, yeah, I feel like, cause I don't have too many like worries that cause anxiety. It's more like, I don't have that free space in my mind anymore. Like I felt like I had a handle on things with 2, but with 3, my mind is just always going. Yeah. There's always, and like also the stage of life we're in, like, look at the girls are close in age. Yeah. And now they're all like preschool, kindergarten.
Well, when did you, cause I remember following you years ago, but when did your Instagram page really kick off?
Well, when I was pregnant with, hold on, I have to think. I need like a calendar. No, when I was pregnant with Rosie, that's when I was sharing my workouts.
Okay.
Because I had started, let me backtrack. I started my Instagram anonymously because I was wanting to be part of this like fitness. I was the only person that wanted to work out that I knew. And I felt like embarrassed that I went to the gym because nobody did that, and like took pictures and like documented their workouts. Like that's literally all I wanted to do. So I found this fitness community on Instagram and I was like, this is so cool. Like, but I didn't tell anyone about my page. Like, yeah. I literally lied. I was like, oh, I don't have an Instagram because I didn't have a personal page. I had and I'm like, why do people want to follow me? I'm like posting about like different variations of burpees, right? This is 2015. Then I got pregnant with Ayla. And that's when I had that like isolated feeling of like, oh my gosh, no one has pregnancy fitness. Like this isn't a thing. Thing. So whenever I have her get back into my regular workouts, and then I got pregnant with Rosie. And that's when I was like, oh, now I got to do these pregnancy modifications again, but I'm going to make it fun because prenatal workouts are boring. So I started making my own, and my fitness community that like, I think I had 5,000 followers at the time. They all started getting pregnant. So they started asking me like, what workouts are you doing? Like, how do you do that when you're pregnant? Like, so all these questions are coming in. That's when I got my pre-postnatal certification. And I think I hit 10,000 followers when she was born in 2018.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
And then and that and then that's when I quit my teaching job.
Okay. Yeah.
Which at the time, like, wow, thinking about it, I was like really gambling there. No, I wasn't. I was so confident. I was like, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do pre-postnatal fitness. Like, this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And it worked out, thank God. And then I got pregnant again with Blake, and I think that's when it really took off. And like, reels were coming out. Or actually, I was on TikTok before that. I'm trying to think. But yeah, I got to 100,000 followers before I had Blake.
Okay.
Before I had Blake.
Yeah.
Yeah, it snowballed every pregnancy. Like it just like, obviously like I got more, and it's really cool because now I have all these women that we all have kids the same age.
Yeah.
So it's so fun, like being able to still like connect and talk about like the toddler phase and potty training and all the things that come with postpartum.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, like I said, I think I followed you back when I was pregnant with Cassidy. I think so.
Oh, wow.
I know that. Which is just wild. It's wild, but
I know I hate thinking about like, oh my God, it was how much 6 years ago? What?
I know, but again, it's just like, I think it's pretty darn cool. I think you should be very proud of yourself because it's obviously a full-time thing for you, right? Has this become like a full-time?
This is my only job.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you have help? Do you have like stuff, like a whole staff and stuff like that that's helping you at this point? Or
I don't like calling it staff.
Yeah,
Sounds funny. But I have a team. So I have someone that helps me manage my email inbox and just kind of make sure I'm not missing anything, adding things to my calendar for me, because that was so hard. Just like scheduling like stuff like this. Actually, no, that's not true. I schedule this podcast myself because they don't know my whole schedule, but just like making sure like, oh, hey, you're like going to be running this sale next week. Like we have to get this in place. Like, let's get some emails ready to go. So someone to keep me on track, because as organized as I may appear, I just like don't have that part of my brain. I feel like I'm more not spontaneous, but like, I'm going to see how I feel that day.
Yeah.
So that's how I like my schedule is like, what am I going to do? I need to film some workouts this week, but I'm going to see how I feel when I wake up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have someone that helps me with that. And then I have someone that helps me with my brand collaborations, because you've done lots of collaborations and it's a lot of work.
It is.
Not like the actual like posting of it and like using the product, but like the back and forth emails prior. So I have a collaborations manager. My friend Kate does that.
Nice.
And then I have ambassadors that make workouts for my program. So like they're technically part of the team too.
Nice.
Right?
That's so cool. That's awesome. Yeah, that's amazing. I think that's so cool. I think,
but like I can't do this by myself. Like I don't know. I do know one person. I just follow another girl who does fitness, and I think she does it like by herself. Like
oh, really?
Because she always talks about how and I'm like, how is she doing it? So I want people to know, like, I cannot do this by myself.
Well, and I think that's like a big thing. I recently had someone like asking out, they're like, how do you do this all? And I'm like, well, at this point I've had to bring on help. I was like, I can't, which is a great thing, but I'm like, I have to bring on help because I feel like a lot of people don't actually talk about that. Like a big influencers don't talk about that.
Okay. So what do your people help you with?
Right now I just have a virtual assistant. I'm kind of slowly delegating off things because I'm a bit of a it's not like a freak. I just same thing like what you said is like I almost don't like having a schedule because it almost stresses me out. So I like waking up and knowing like I know like with content and stuff, I know I like it for that reason of being like waking up and knowing what I'm posting that day and things like that. Like, that's easier for me. But in terms of like I don't know, like I will never do like stories. I don't plan out what my stories are going to be or anything like that. Cause there's none of that. That I don't feel like that really works unless like you're a business per se, like an actual, like,
no, it's not for us. Right.
Yeah.
That's, or you know what? I could see you doing like a 7-day series of like, I don't know, mom hacks, like something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like other than that, and like you would think about it, but you might not even like
pre-film
pre-film
or
it.
anything.
No.
Well, even with like the filming stuff, like when I do content or when I do collaboration and stuff, I always, well, it's pre-filmed. Like most people don't know that the majority of the time it's pre-filmed unless you get that agreement that you can do it organically. But I always film that, but I always let people know. Cause like I actually heard from someone that was like, no, there are influencers that will like try and wear the same outfit that they pre-filmed in. So it makes it look like it's, I'm like, well, that's probably smart, but I don't have the time and worry. I don't want to worry about that.
Or like the laundry situation, like, oh great, gotta
No,
go
so I
dig
always
that out of the
tell them,
laundry
like,
room.
I always just say like right beforehand, I'm like, this is pre-recorded. Like, think of it as a commercial because I don't know what else to do. But yeah, at this point, I'm trying to like get better about like emailing and like I like to be hands-on with all this stuff, but I can't.
I know. So here's my take on it. Instead of being like, it's not like you need to control everything, but at the end of the day, everything has your name on it.
Yeah.
And it comes down to like you, like you're the brand, you're the name, you're the face. So if something gets done incorrectly, it's like Mary did it incorrectly, but that's, so that's what's hard for me about it too, is I'm like, I need things done right. Like I want to be the one making typos and I want someone to help me like fix it. I don't want you to be making the typos if you're helping me.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
It's
agreed. Yeah.
It's tough. Does someone help you with your podcast?
No, not yet.
Oh, how did you figure it out?
I YouTube, a lot of YouTube. I picked a lot of brains of people who are doing podcasts. So I found out from them.
Okay.
It's honestly not as hard as you would think. I think I could probably be doing it better. And not in like the recording, the sound of it, like all of that, I think sounds pretty darn good.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the marketing of it. And that's actually my next thing that I need to like bring someone on is I want to start my own Instagram page. I have one. I opened one up for this and I want to move content specifically over there.
Wait, what is it? So we can all go find it.
TV, I forget what the fuck.
Everyone get your phone.
Yeah, get your phone.
Open up Instagram. I'm doing it right now. We're all going to follow this
link
page.
it in the show notes, but I
link it in the show notes, or just like I know everyone's on their phone right now.
Yeah, so it's an abbreviation. It's the TVML podcast, The Very Merry Life Unfiltered. So it's just like the abbreviated, The Very Merry Life. 0 posts, 0.
No. And no, hold on. This is not you.
Yeah, TVML.
It says The Beautiful Messy Life. There's no dots or anything. It's just
TVML podcast.
I typed a B. Sorry, I have a typo. TV. Okay, got it. Yeah, we're all following you right now. Oh my gosh, your picture's so cute.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo
and you got the link.
Yeah, so that's like I share everything to my main Instagram. I just want to like start cross like pollinating everywhere. I want to like just put everything everywhere. So.
Yes, I know. It's a whole. Then you just have to be like really intentional about it, and like you already have so many other things on your plate. So if that could be something for your virtual assistant.
I know. I need to do that.
Yep.
You know what? It's weird. It's weird doing it because like how you were saying, like when you left your teaching job to like pursue this, it was like a gamble. I think that's where I'm at, where it's like at this point, it's a gamble to invest in myself. And sometimes you like,
oh, okay. Because I say, are you working full time right now somewhere? Or
no.
What were you doing before?
Personal training.
Oh yeah, you said. I knew that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. No, I'm not working, but it's like more like viewing this as like my business. So I'm like, investing money away from all of that. Where I'm like,
I mean, I get that. For me, I know I can do everything on my own because I did. Like I built my website from scratch. I've done it all and I learned it, which I kind of am really proud of myself for like figuring it out. Like you said, you just Google, figure out the podcast, like YouTube it. Like that's how I started a business. I didn't go to business school.
Yeah.
But I figured it out and I could continue to figure things out, but it takes up so much of my time.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, my time is more valuable than the money. And I would rather pay someone to do that much work so that I can enjoy my life. Have not free time, but like, what's it called? I don't know, just like a life.
Yeah.
Or
Well,
else I would be doing it
yeah.
I would be working around the clock, which I mean, I kind of do, but I would be working even more.
Yeah.
The
No, well,
quality
and
of
I
life
think
would
that's like,
go way
I think
down.
that's like a big thing business wise, but I think that boils even into like just mom life in general. I always talk about that. I'm like asking for
Yeah.
help. It's like the first thing I'm trying to like 2023 is like my goal for this
Mhm.
year is just getting better at asking for
Ooh.
help. And
Who
that's
are you
just
going to
like,
ask? Okay, because people always say that, like, ask for help. And I'm like, who am I asking? Who's going
yeah,
to come running when I say, I need help?
I hired a cleaning company. So I hired that to come in
Okay,
for
perfect.
twice a month, which isn't that much because by the time they leave, usually it's like 5 minutes go by and then the whole house is like up in flames again, where I'm like,
Yeah.
why did I bother? But my baseboards look pretty damn good. So I'm fine with that. And I want to find a babysitter.
Oh, that is so hard. Let's
I
talk about
know.
that for a second because you need to find one.
Yeah. I just don't
We
know
had
how. It's so hard.
It's word of mouth. You have to just literally start telling everyone you know, I'm looking for a babysitter. And then they're gonna just hear someone at church saying, like, oh, my daughter's trying to make extra money. She's a senior in high school.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I know someone who's looking for a babysitter. So
Yeah.
I just feel like talking about it, and it always, like, I've hired one person that, like, I did not know.
Yeah.
Or, like, actually I found her on care.com, but I had one mutual person with her. So I
Okay.
kind of felt okay. And she was like outstanding. Her name is Chanel. If you're listening to this, Chanel, I love you. And she was like majoring in like no, what was she doing? She was doing like art in school, but she was
Okay.
going to do like art therapy for kids.
Oh shit.
Like,
Okay. Yeah.
hello, like, how cool is that? And then I also had a student who, well, so this is kind of a funny story. I was pregnant teaching still.
Yeah.
This is with 9 months pregnant with Rosie. And I worked at a technical vocational school. So
Okay.
I taught graphic design, which I don't
Nice.
think I mentioned that.
No. Yeah.
But there's other trades at the school. So there was a health trade that did medical assisting.
Yeah.
And they got this old ultrasound machine. And this one student, this girl figured out, she like was like, I'm going to figure this out. And she figured out how to turn it on and use it. And they asked to use me as an example because like they had nothing to ultrasound.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you could ultrasound like other parts of your body, but I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So this girl's name is Maddie, and she ended up giving me the ultrasound. And then that next year she got her license and she started babysitting for me. So it's so cool.
That's so
Like she
cool.
got to see my Rosie before she was born
Before
and
she
give me an
babysitting for-
ultrasound, which is like such a special bond, I feel like.
Yeah.
And she is like CPR certified, medical assistant, LPN, like,
I love
so
that.
that's the kind of person I want watching my kids.
Yeah.
But then we moved to Florida. We had to start over because we had, not the network of people that we did up there. So we just started going at our church again, telling everyone we're looking for a babysitter. And we found one. She's so sweet and so good with them.
Good.
She
Okay.
does put Blake's diapers on backwards, but you know what? I'm just going to let her. Justin's like, don't correct her. That's rude. And I was like, oh,
I know.
okay. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
Hey, if
whatever.
it works, it works.
I mean, I don't know. But yeah, when people ask me about babysitters, I'm like, tell everyone and don't be afraid to like not have someone or like even have them come over for the day.
Yeah.
Most of the time I need a sitter when I'm home. I'm like,
Well, that's actually, I found someone that was like she's 16 in high school, but she would then sit on her phone the entire time. So
oh,
like,
I had one of those.
I was
I
like,
hated it.
I'm
Nope,
like,
kicker.
okay.
Sorry, I can be
Yeah.
on my phone being productive and my kids are getting ignored. Like, but I don't want that. So that's why I
No,
have
yeah.
you here. Hello, play with the
Yeah.
kids.
No, well, that's all I need. I need someone just because I'm not going anywhere. But if I were to go somewhere where then I need to know that I can
Right.
do that. We're kind of stuck in a snag with Haley because she won't take a bottle. So I'm breastfeeding central right now.
Yeah.
So that is a little bit funky, but she's older, so I can get a little bit more time with between all that, but she's still very much mommy. Like what is that age? Like when they start getting like stranger danger, like that's what's happening where if anyone else other than
that
me
awareness,
her, it's a little bit much. So that's a little bit of a snag. But eventually we'll get there. I just need someone coming in to give me like 3 hours. I just need 3 hours to come up and sit upstairs and hopefully do something that isn't like Sometimes I don't want
Scrolling.
to work. Yeah. Sometimes I don't want to work. And I'm like, catch myself and I'm like, I didn't do anything.
But you need that too. You need that time to
No.
just do nothing and not have to be constantly getting snacks and cleaning
Yeah.
just for an hour. Like that's amazing.
Agreed.
That is productive. You get to like mentally just rest for a minute, hopefully.
Yeah. Right. Yay. Well, we'll wrap this up. That way we don't keep everyone going. We'll let you get back to, because I know you're tired.
I'm doing okay. I had a little bit of an energy drink this afternoon, so
Okay,
it's
there you
still
go.
like it's working. It's actually really good. It's called Rookie Wellness. Rookie
Okay.
Wellness.
All right. Good. Do you miss Massachusetts at all?
I miss my friends, but at the same time, like I didn't really go out much with friends. Like you did the reel about it.
Yeah, no,
Like I have free time. Okay, who am I? I don't have friends. No, that's not true. I do have friends, but gosh, it's just
how the hell do you get together with anyone? It's just like impossible, especially if they have kids. Forget that.
Yeah, that was one of the things when we were moving. I was like, am I going to regret this? And I was like, literally, we are all just in our houses all the time. And we text each other every day. Like my friends and I that like just send memes back and forth. I'm like, we still are friends. See?
Well, and it's almost at that point, it would rather be more intentional. That way, when you do get together, it's like more intentional and it's like actually going to be like,
or I want to plan like girls trips. Like, let's meet in Tennessee or like, let's do something. Like we've like a lot of my friends, like we've never traveled together.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it now. I'm like, wait, have I ever like gone on a girls trip other than with my sister? I'm like, I really, I don't know. So yeah, but I do get FOMO when I see like my friends getting together without me. I'm like, meh.
I know.
That's like the hard. What the heck?
I have a lot of my college friends. Like I went to school out in Indiana, so all of them still live there. Majority of them were from Indiana, so all of them live within like a half an hour of each other. So they all get together all the time, and I'm like,
yeah, it's like I'm there in spirit. And I also think about, I know this is sad, but I'm like, am I gonna? Well, it doesn't. Honestly, we don't know if we're gonna live here forever.
Yeah,
it's just like it feels good right now, which is great. Like I'm not the 10-year vision or like 30. What's your 20-year goals? I'm like, I have none. No, that is not to be alive. Hopefully, but yeah, I don't know if this is where we're gonna be even in the next 5 years. But my cryptic thought that I had was like, if I were to like die and have a funeral, like
who would come
and like where would I be buried? And or I just think about that, like I don't know, like most of my like family, like my cousins and aunts and uncles, they're all in the Massachusetts area.
Yeah,
most of them. So I miss them too, because like we have a really big family. So yeah. But it's crazy because after 2020, like no one's been getting together like old times. So I think I just miss that in general. And now that I'm in Florida, like, yeah.
Well, I think that was like the one thing that actually made having Haley harder. And my husband and I were talking about this because I think that's the one thing I can say, like from 2 to 3, the thing that's been harder this transition is because of the pandemic with my son, with the pandemic or with it kind of, I mean, life is as close to normal as you're going to get now. With things like we didn't have the pressure, like we didn't have the FOMO when we were home with my second because everyone was home. But now the world is picking up again. Everyone's getting out and everyone's getting together. And now we're stuck in, it's kind of like that FOMO, like
you're in the mom bubble, like the baby bubble.
Yeah. A little bit more amplified because like, I don't know. It's a little bit more where it's like, you want to get back out because you've been in this bubble for like 4 years based on like just baby life plus pandemic, where now you're like,
and breastfeeding.
Yeah. Like you're like, okay, well, like, let's go. Yeah. But then at the same time, I'm over here like, well, maybe we'll have another. And I'm like,
are you going to?
Why? I don't know. I don't know.
It's hard to just like,
it's hard to
close that door and like put the nail in the coffin and be like, we're done. Like, I don't feel like that, but I also am like 4 kids. Like,
well, that's how I feel. I feel like it's impossible. It feels, I can't imagine being pregnant again. I can't also imagine not ever being pregnant again. It's like, that's how it feels. So it's like, I almost like, that's why even saying it to you, I'm like, I don't know. Even if there is a day that I am completely done, I think I will still answer that way. If we do have a fourth, I'll be done just because I have C-sections. So I'll probably just have them tie
How
off
many kids
things.
did you guys want?
I think Kev originally wanted 2, and then I was adamant about 3.
Okay.
So the fourth, whenever I bring up the fourth, Kevin's like, I'm going to cut my dick off. I'm like, no, you're not. And I was like, you can go I was like, you can do that, but I don't sign off on that and have fun. But
Oh my gosh.
Well, and I always say that, the other day I tested Kevin. I was like, I yelled from the other room. I said, if we have another baby, this is what we're naming him. And he was like, what? And I was like, this is the name. And he was like, okay. And I was like, you didn't say no. And I honestly think he will go with whatever I say. And the only reason I think that is because if he were adamant about being done, he would have probably had me or asked for me to tie my tubes while I was in with my last C-section. If we, oh yeah, because you're already in there. They'll ask you right before the procedure. Do you want to tie him off?
Oh my gosh. I had no idea. I've never had a
they asked me beforehand and I was like, no. And Kevin was right there and he could have stopped me and he could have made sure that
I feel like that's a really a bold decision to make, as you're going into that.
You have to really know. That's why it's like,
you have to
I think
really
I will
know.
really I forget who I was just talking to about that. I was like, I think if I get my tube side, I'm going to make Kevin get a vasectomy still.
Just so you're doing it together.
We're doing it together. Let's go. We're both done with this one right now.
Gosh. See, Justin and I both are one of 3 kids. I have 2 sisters. He has a brother and a sister. So we know the 3 kids situation. And we both even before we were married, we were both 3 kids is so perfect. And I used to film myself when I was a kid. I had a video camera, which I have to share some of those clips because it's hilarious. But in one of them, I'm talking hi, I'm Kim and I have 3 kids. And I was 14 at the time saying this. So no, we always wanted 3. And now that we have 3, we're we're not done, are we? I didn't go into that my 3rd pregnancy saying this is my last, this is it, which I know other people that just had that feeling, or at least maybe they didn't want to close that door, but they're I have one girl that I follow, Nikki. She, not the Nikki we were just talking about, a different Nikki. She was I'm 35. I want this to be my last baby. So she just went into it with that mindset. This last one, I'm soaking it all up. She did so many photo shoots of her last pregnancy and
I don't know. I told Kev, I was I mean, it's not that it's old. It's I'm 32. So I'm I'd rather, by the time I'm 35, I'm if we don't make a decision by then, I just want a decision by 35. And that buys me 3 years. And I feel that's enough time to come up with that at that point. But I just want my life back. I think that's how I view it. It's I want my life back. But at the same time, I think that's also terrifying because I'm what is my life afterwards? What is this?
And you're in it right now because you have an 8-month-old.
Yeah, it's very hard. I actually just had a guest on the other day and we were talking about it because it's like we were saying, you forget in the the little years, you think that this is all it is. It's always going to be this way forever. So it's very hard to imagine it not being this way. And for some reason it is very hard to imagine. So I think that might be why it's hard to say I'm done having kids.
Mm-hmm.
We're still in it. I almost need maybe for Cassie to go to school and I can see those.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's a whole other thing. You don't know what school is like.
Yeah. I don't know what any of that's like. So I need almost that to start first before I can make that decision of being done. If that makes sense.
So crazy. Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
And of course, in true Mary fashion, nothing can go perfect. For some reason, the rest of our interview got cut off. I have nothing to pull from, and I don't know what happened because this has never happened to me before. I don't know, which is such a bummer because I love Kim so much. But she's an incredible follow. She is an incredible friend that I am so lucky to have connected with over on Instagram. And she is such a valuable resource for all moms, all women, regardless of your stage in life, whether you are hoping to get pregnant, are freshly postpartum, are postpartum and beyond. You know, even if you had a baby 20 plus years ago, you're still postpartum. You will be postpartum for the rest of your entire life. So check her out. I'm going to link all of her information in the show notes below. And if you are listening today on Friday, January 6th, stay tuned because on January 15th of 2023, Kim and I are kicking off the Feel Mary with Perry Challenge. This is something that I am so excited. We have never done anything like this before. She's never done anything like this before with anyone else. And this is not a weight loss challenge. This is not a transformation challenge, nothing. If anything, it's going to hopefully transform your mindset, but that's all we want. I know working out is incredibly hard when you're a parent. For me, it's been very hard figuring that out because I've never been a mom of 3 before. So trying to figure out that routine is just difficult. And it's going to look different, but Kim offers incredible workouts. They are short, they are effective, anywhere between 10 to 20 minutes. You can do them right out of your house, and we are pairing up. So she will provide the workouts. Again, you can be in whatever stage of life. There's a workout for you. And then I am providing the mindful portion, which is a 5-minute daily journal with prompts that I have written up and different questions for you to fill out. And then we're going to be offering 3 different Zoom meetings that you can join in on and meet the community. Everyone that's participating will be a part of it. And you can sit down with Kim and I, and we can just get support in whatever you need, whether it's a question for Kim or a question for me or a question for someone else, or just sharing what's on your heart that day, whether it's a win, struggle, or whatever. You know, so check that out if you are listening today, and go check out Kim. She is one of a kind. Thanks, guys. Another episode down and way more to go. But thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and you would like to help support this podcast, I would love for you to subscribe. I'd love for you to share it with others and post about it on your own social media, or leave a rating and review. I cannot tell you how helpful and how appreciated those things are for me. Of course, to catch all the latest from me, you can follow me over on Instagram at The Very Mary Life, over on TikTok, The Very Mary Life. And even if you wanted to check out my monthly newsletter, you can do so by subscribing over at theverymarylife.com. I'll see you next week. Stay tuned for more honest, raw, real chit chat. I have some amazing moms lined up coming on, and shit's going to get fun. So buckle up, Buttercup. It's going to be good.